All right, we should be good. There we go. Let us continue where we left off. Open this. Man, this game turns my computer into a space heater. This. All right, cool. Microphone working. We're good. All right. So, we were building this. I think we're gonna have a little bit of a change of pace. We'll give this one more run just for good measure. But we're gonna change pace, and we're gonna try and launch something very large into orbit. But let's wait for it to be daytime. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh god. 425. 425. So we could get up to 425 before it just immediately disintegrates. Yeah, that's a good, like, capping off the land racer zone, and let's move on to launching something really heavy into orbit. Also, I realized we still haven't been to another planet yet in Kerbal Space Program 2. And I also realized that we've only been to Duna before. All right, silver and orange. So, our goal is going to be to get a Duna station into Duna orbit. Now, I'm not going to go back to my previous save and continue that. We're going to do it on this fresh career. But we need to start building our Duna station, and we're gonna try and make it carry 8 plus 5, so 13 Kerbals, 5 seats in that, 8 seats in that, so 13 Kerbals. Yeah. And I think we're going to design this one. I've done 2 stations now in Kerbal Space Program 2. I think we're going to design this one. We have to think about, okay, what do we actually want in orbit? I think we want this in orbit. Around Duna. Just bread and butter. You know, the Verter engines seem to be very good. We can put RCS on. I typically do 6. It's 6. That doesn't block anything. It kind of blocks the ladder. Do I care? No, I don't. And then we're gonna have the burner engines We're gonna put the linear RCS ports. Can I just put these on top? No. In the past, in Kerbal 1, you could just use like a combination of these two and you'd be set. But I think we're gonna put Werner engines along with those. It kind of looks a little janky, but that'll work. That's fine. We can do them in the same form this way. Where we have the Werner and then the, yeah. That'll use RCS and Methalox. Good. Yeah, at least that looks a little uniform. Yeah, good. All right, we need communication, Communitron. You can just have one right there. We need a docking port system. The best way to do it, in my opinion, is to use a simple shell. Where is it now? This thing. The structural fuselage. And then one of these. There we have it. Then we need the docking ports. There we go. So that can dock with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate things. And typically, for good measure, I like putting one docking port junior on the side of the capsule. Just in case we have anything that we want to just in case that we have, if we have anything we want to dock that only has a docking port junior for whatever reason. Is it likely that we'll come across that? No. And this thing will never come back to Kerbin. This is like a permanent Duna base station. Trying to think, do we want to use hydrogen for this? Do we want to try and be cool and use like giant hydrogen tanks on this? Where is it? This thing? No, that's... yeah, 60 tons of monopropellant. Do we want to use one of these? Just to be cool? You know what they say? They say go big or go home, right? And I say... sure. And we need something like this upside down. No. This upside down. Oh, geez. That's getting very ambitious. How much does this weigh? 140 tons? Woo! We don't need the Werner engines. They're gonna be useless in this case. I think we're just gonna do 2 because that's already getting insanely heavy. And if we're able to launch this, I would be so surprised. So surprised. We need an engine on this thing, right? That kind of looks janky. Is there a way to add... We can add it directly to the orb, but it doesn't look great. Like that? It has to be big. I mean, it's gotta be. We don't have any choice. Yeah, as for struts, something like that. How are we even gonna... I can't do this. This is gonna be so unstable. As is. How do you attach this? Is there a small adapter of some sort? Here, structure. No, it would need to be... like that, but whatever. We'll leave it like that. We could even make this Methalox fuel tank. How much does this weigh versus this? How much does the fuel tank weigh versus the... So this is 17 tons versus 0.2 tons. Yeah, so that's okay. We need to reattach all these struts. Huh? Okay, I think it... bugged out when I did that. Yeah, see, it like made them all individual for some reason. Separating things, we should wait to strut as the last thing we do. Like, unless we're absolutely certain. Okay, this is gonna be a chunky rocket. Like, I'm talking the biggest rocket we've ever made. If this thing even launches, I would be very surprised. If it crashes the game just straight up, I would not be surprised. That thrust to weight is surprisingly good. Look, our thrust to weight's 0.959. If I put the Mammoth, which is the strongest engine, we only get 4.485. It would undeniably make this run smoother. I think we do actually care because the performance will absolutely tank if we put all of those engines on there. What is this looking like? We do this. .593. It's surprisingly bad. The only option I see is to add another layer. And use the Clydesdale. I don't even know if that's gonna make a dent though. I doubt it will. .821. If we do like this instead, Huh. What happens if we do this? It does. It does duplicate it. That's awesome. Almost 0.989. Okay, so all we need to do is this. I think we like that position, right? That's pretty much the same. All right, and then we take the root. And then we go symmetry 4 and then place it again. And it copies that across all of them. Yep, there we go. 1.1. We got it. Now we just need the aerodynamics. Why? There we go. There we go. Okay. Now that we've added all that, we have our thrust to weight. Oh, look at that mass. Holy shit. We've got to add struts now. So we're going to save this. Unit station Mark 1. And we're going to strut. I think everything's set. Like, we've got all of that flying. That's all going to break off at the same time. Those all break off. Then that, and then we're cruising on hydrogen. That's already strutted. I don't know why it turns red. Maybe it's like max length or something. I don't know. That's not what I wanted. That work? Yeah, it did. Symmetry is a good thing to use. Those are all connected to that. We do 4 symmetry? No, that doesn't seem to... I think we're gonna have to do all of these one by one. Oh, these seem to work. Why didn't this one work then? All right, and then we need some in the center. Starting these is going to be a pain. Do I even want to bother? Probably just do the tops. Doesn't have to be perfect. If one of them is slightly off, so be it. Third rung down. That I can remember. Third rung down about there. If one's off slightly, it doesn't really matter. There we go. Okay, that should be somewhat stable. This thing is probably gonna launch. Probably. What if I do that? And then attach it like that. Oh, we would kind of like that. It's just gonna take time to strut it properly. If we do like this. Oh, these are symmetrical. It should not change your camera view when you click on a strut. It just shouldn't do that. All right. I think we're good. I mean, this thing should make it to Duna. Like, we have 21,000 meters per second of delta V. All right. Saved as a new save. All right. Who are we gonna bring? Bob, Valentina, and Jebediah. All right, we need a couple more things. We need Werner engines down here and up here. And then we need wings Let's say we need wings. There we go. That's slightly below the center of mass. Okay. I'm just gonna do Mark 3 just to get a fresh save on it. All right. I think everything here is set up. Yeah, after this breaks off, I think we need, there's no flat. A little bit concerning that these are not mirroring, but the other two are mirroring. Makes me think that there's something a little bit janked out with the structure of it. That in alignment? Kind of. Yeah, unfortunately, some of those struts go into... I can kind of fit them into this connection. That's really janky, though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Also, I don't know about this connection either, so... That should be good. All right. So do we have communication? We have electricity generation. Oh, we don't have battery. Do 3 batteries to add even more to the already extremely heavy payload that we have. All right, good. That didn't mess up any of our struts. Okay, I think we're nearing... Yeah, we don't have parachutes because they're not returning. The only way these Kerbals are returning, here, we'll just take Jebediah. The only way these Kerbals are returning is if some other ship comes to rescue them. Or these got messed up somehow? No, we need 4 of them. 4 of these should not be able to hold this thing. But that's all we got. Right, I think we're set. These need to be put in with that. Our engineering checklist is good. Save the Mark IV as a new save. And it may very well just explode on the launch pad because it's so massive. But I feel like we did an okay job strutting it. So yeah, all of those break off. Then these break off. Then that breaks off. All right, let's launch pad 1. Let's go. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. I'm not touching anything until it loads. Between the Clydesdale, okay. And now it's gonna proceed to take 5 minutes to actually tell me what went wrong. I forgot to set up the chat on YouTube. It just says chat is disabled, but that's all I needed to do. There we go. All right, so the Clydesdales are not well enough strutted, clearly. And I avoided strutting them because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them. All right, my game is not opening. So I'm just going to force quit. This is what happens when you make a giant rocket and it falls apart on the launch pad. Like, your game just slows to 1 frame every 30 seconds. Seriously, 1 frame every 30 seconds. But this is the risk we took to make a giant rocket. This is the risk we took. Luckily, we saved. 749. Yeah. It always auto-saves right before you launch. I always forget to actually save the game. I always save my vehicles, but then I never actually save the game. So hopefully this isn't. If it is, I may try and mess with land racers again because I don't want to deal with all these loading times. If this is not in a decent state, then the biggest thing I don't want to do again is strut. Yeah, see, the Clydesdales fell off. Probably because I strutted them so terribly. You know, I'm almost thinking I don't want to deal with the Clydesdales. Yeah, let's... I'm thinking I don't want to deal with these. Something makes me feel like something severely got messed up with that. So we're gonna just revert back, and instead we're going to use the engines that I want to use. Two of those. And same thing. Same thing with the mainsail in the center with the now it's bugging out. Okay. So we're gonna yeah, see, we need to do this. It's putting the fairing around it. Even though I just turned fairing off, it still is in fairing, so clearly something with that. I forget what that's called. What is that actually called? Engine mount? There's something weird with the engine mount, and you don't really need them, it seems like. Yeah, don't mind me just adding 32 engines because the Clydesdales don't want to stay onto the main rocket. Yeah, now we have 1.175 thrust, and we don't have a single Clydesdale. So we're good. Now we just need to strut these. Now we don't have to do a whole bunch of strutting to everything. And if we set it to 4, it should... Yeah, there we go. That's what we wanted. There we go. I think these are... Oh, no, they're not. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's properly strutted now. And this should be good. They're in the, yeah, they're in the proper thing. Okay. So we've got the Delta V. We've got a pilot. Our staging is very simple now. Oh, and we want to make sure that the fuel from these is being put in that. We could edit these. Have a larger wingspan and larger angle so that, yeah, that's better. Okay. Let's send it. Let's send it. Wait, why is my delta V so low now? Something messed up. Something messed up. That breaks off, then that goes. I don't know why that delta V is so low. Whatever. Sending it. We must send the giant orbs into space. Even if it makes our game go down to 1 frame every 20 seconds. We must do it. We will achieve greatness. So all of a sudden it just started rotating rapidly and I can't do anything. The whole game is stopped. 1 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to count. It's going to take a long time. I don't know why SAS starts on. I can't see what's going wrong with it right now. Doesn't seem like there's anything wrong in this frame. These all seem like they're in alignment. Struts are still connected. The ship's already dead. Like, when we started, it was just rotating rapidly, and then it just went down to 2 frames per, like. So what's breaking now? All right, I'm gonna be right back. This is gonna take a while. Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I'm just gonna stop the game. I'm gonna check the recap. Okay, so the whole top fell off. Yeah, for a second, it actually ran. It seems like it actually moved quite a bit. But yeah, the whole top of it fell down, and I assume it's because the struts are just not capable of holding all that weight. Oh, and again, we didn't save right before we launched. So with a rocket this heavy, I think it's going to be like 3 to 5 minutes between each launch attempt, just because of how the game handles heavy stuff. Seems like it collapsed here. Oh, you know what they say. When in doubt. Add more struts. I don't know if I want to deal with this. Like, it becomes a game of like, how many struts can you fit on this thing? I kind of don't want to play that game. We'll try this one more time, and then we're going to go back to making a land racer. Because that's fun. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to launch something super heavy into orbit, but does not look like it's going to happen. Yeah, and we forgot to save again, so... Oh, we forgot to save again. Okay, we have to make sure we save before we launch. Because I'm not doing this again. Everything works great until you add 8 vector engines, which is the only way to provide enough thrust for what I'm trying to do. All right. See, it loaded me in an older save. It's so frustrating. I need to check the save that I'm in order to make progress, because it'll save me in an older save. All right, that should be well strutted at this point. I'm just gonna pray that that works. All right. I think we're coming up on final attempt. We got the Werner, we got the wing. Those are all connected down there. And that connected in some way that like added 1,000,000 and it just made my game lag significantly. All right, I think we are gonna give this giant thing one more go. And before we go, we're gonna save. I think it was 11 that we were on or something. No, 8 and then 9. Okay. All right. Staging before we do anything else. These are still attached here. Okay. We got a couple things we need to check. That breaks, and then we go. Save. Save, and we are go. Let us pray that this works. I don't know why the Delta V went from like 20,000 to 8,000. Now, if everything holds together, we should be okay. But if the game has to do 1,000,000 calculations on just how badly it explodes, then we have problems. Then we have problems. But this thing, at least from my experience, should be well strutted and pretty stable. Yeah. It's very ambitious, but it should be pretty stable. All right, we're good. Let us commence. This deserves a countdown. It's like the game just stopped for a second. I'm gonna turn RCS on just for good measure. This is by far the most ambitious thing I've launched in this game. It kind of sucks that it's not daytime, but it's okay. You know what? You know what? It's not okay. Let's revert to launch. It's not okay. It's not okay. I need it to be daytime so I can see what's going on. I wanted to believe it was okay, but it's not okay. I'd rather the game stall than do this launch at night, because I want to be able to see just how absolutely massive this payload we're launching is. it should be stable. Like, it shouldn't have to do any giant explosion calculations. All right, before we launch, let's fast forward time. All right, here's the thing we're launching. All right, countdown. Oh, it just started launching. All right, let's go. Maybe if I angle the camera like upward, it'll run a little better. No, that doesn't seem to be helping. Seems pretty stable. I don't see any rocking happening right here. And on the nav ball, I don't see any sway occurring. So it's stable. Now, I don't even know if I'm going to rotate, honestly. I may just go straight up, and then once we get into the vacuum, then I'll burn on the horizon. But as far as this payload goes, I don't want to try and angle our ascent. Until we are in the clear. Dan, we've got the arrow, we've got the whole setup. It should be very stable. The center pressure is below the center of mass. All of our struts are very, I think, well placed. And we have 3 couplings for each booster. And I believe... Did I add those? I can't remember. No, I didn't. I wanted to be draining fuel into the central tank, but... you know what? It's okay. We're effectively waiting for this number to turn to 100,000. And I'm just gonna go straight up. Because we need to break out of atmosphere as quickly, as smoothly as possible. This thing doesn't have any fairing, obviously. Our time to apoapsis is increasing very slowly. Our surface speed is increasing. Unfortunately, our frame rate is not increasing. But it's all right. We're hanging out. It's quite beautiful that this thing is holding up. It would, if it were to start breaking apart, it would start pretty soon because we're going very fast. And air resistance getting greater on it, so. Should hold up though. I don't see any sway occurring. Or if there is any sway, it's very, very slight. My strategy is I'm gonna burn straight up. And then once we reach our apoapsis, then I'm gonna burn horizontal. And realistically, because all of these are draining at the same rate, we only need to decouple this thing right here once the time comes. Because these are all draining at the same rate. This does have this extra fuel tank. So there may be some extra fuel in there, but we forgot to add the fuel line so that these boosters would drain into here. Yeah, there's no fuel line, unfortunately. Cool. Our apoapsis is above the atmosphere. We'll let it get pretty high. I'm saying like 150 plus, just to play it safe. That way we'll have plenty of time to burn with our hydrogen engine around our orbit. I think I'm going to start to try to rotate very slightly. Give it some taps in the prograde direction. There it goes. All right, now that we're hitting oh, look, we're getting more than 5 FPS now. Now we just need to make it up here, and then we can start burning horizontally safely. Once we're in a vacuum, I'll fully rotate. I can start rotating now. It's gonna take a while, but we did it. Yeah, even with those Werner engines. It's going to take quite some time to rotate. I think we'll make it just in time. But now we're safe to angle because there's no atmosphere to start acting strangely on this section. I'm glad we decided to launch something massive into orbit. Well, we should be able to make it to Duna. I didn't really check our... Probably should have checked where we were at, but Jebediah can spend a couple years in orbit if necessary. He's done it before. That is quite the ship. All right, start evening out. Once we're about 1 minute from... Ooh, I should save. Yeah, let me save. And we should start burning. Because we are just about at our apoapsis now. Oh, I moved way too fast. Oh boy, that put a lot of strain on it. I think we're stable again. Stable for a full burn. That periapsis is coming up quite quickly now. Oh, I did it again. The thrust vectoring. Oh, look at that wobble. Whew. that wobble. It's just so laggy that it's like everything I do takes about 5 seconds. Okay, that's getting too bad again. The whole fucking thing is wobbling. Right here is where it's flexing. Yeah, we need to be burning now. The apoapsis is in 20 seconds. Once we ditch this stage, the game is gonna get a lot smoother. And I will be saving the game at that point. And yes, my computer is a space heater currently. Getting 3 to 5 seconds, 3 to 5 frames per second. We've almost made it though. So it's been worth it. We gotta ditch this stage before our periapsis gets above 30,000. Oh, it's gonna be a relief to get rid of this. Yeah, see how these have a little bit more? It's because of this thing right here. But we're just gonna discard the whole thing. If we had put a fuel line connecting to the center, we would have been able to discard all of them. All right, it is now time to discard this stage, so I'm gonna save it as a new 11, and we are going to activate this stack separator. All right, let's go. Oh. That was quite the decoupling. But we are free and clear now. Look at that stage. A giant platform is what it is. All right, and we should be... Yeah, we are. Slowly but surely angling back to our prograde so we can finish the orbital burn. And that will fall back into Kerbin's atmosphere. Yay, we're getting 8 FPS instead of 4 now. Our frames per second doubled. Dude, look at that stage. That thing is massive. Default name 6, default name 7. It's so massive, it's counting as 2 pieces of debris. This is a cool looking ship. Very solid. And we can still see our debris. Once we get into orbit, we'll speed up time. It'll evaporate that debris, and our frames should greatly improve. Let's activate the lights and the solar panels. Now that we're in orbit and we're no longer burning, our frames are slightly higher. I can imagine the calculations it has to do are much less. When you're in orbit versus all of the aerodynamic calculations it has to make when you're in atmosphere. All right, let's speed up time. Let's do 1 full orbit. And let's let that debris hit its periapsis. My game is just frozen right now, by the way. It was calculating, I guarantee you, it was calculating the... See, now, look how much smoother it is. Look how much smoother my game is. Yeah. Now we're getting... 28 frames per second. That is a beautiful screenshot I will be taking. Yeah, we have decent maneuverability. Now that we are stable, RCS can be turned off. So now we are in... Okay, I'm going to save it again. I'm going to save over this one. All right, so we have 14,856 Delta V, which is enough to get us basically to any orbital body in the solar system. Now we can slingshot Minmus or the Mun. Let's slingshot the Mun. There we go. Do we really want to slingshot out that way though? Yeah, I guess so. Doesn't really matter. But obviously before we do that, before we do anything with the Mun, we want to make sure that we are in line with it. This thing has a reaction wheel in it, so as long as we have solar power, we don't actually need RCS. All right, now that we're facing the target, we can speed up. Yeah, our performance is still struggling quite a bit. All right. So before we do anything, now that we're in line with the Mun's orbit, we need to take a look at where Duna actually is. Duna's right here. Eve is right here. We would want Eve to be here, and we would want Duna to be here. So we're gonna have to wait a bit. Wait, what? How am I catching Kerbin's orbit? I'm well above what I need to be. All right, let's wait for our apoapsis. Once we're at 164 kilometers, roughly. There's the desert. Now we need to be facing prograde. Gonna take some time. This thing is massive, so it takes quite some time to maneuver. Even though we have... I mean, we could turn on RCS, but it's not really necessary. I'm enjoying just floating along in this thing, taking my time. It's undeniably... Now that we've gotten through the mud, it is undeniably relaxing and enjoyable to just coast. We also have a giant hydrogen fuel station in low Kerbin orbit now. I'm gonna put us above 100,000 because it seems to not like... How are we getting lack of stellar exposure? Oh, it's because we're angled. Yeah, that's why. That's actually really cool. We're gonna get our periapsis up to over 100,000 meters. And this should be good. Hold on. Why can't I time warp faster than... Yeah, it says approaching Kerbin. Lowering time warp for safety. So I think we need to be at 150. Let's try that. There we go. That's 100 dex. Yeah, that still doesn't really help, but whatever. I'm just so surprised we got this thing into orbit. Yeah, clear target. I don't know how doing this is gonna work. I think what we need to do is we need to go to tracking station, and then we need to why can't I speed it up to 10,000 times? If I go to the space center, is that gonna... It's still not allowing me to go above 1,000. The problem with that is I really wonder, could we burn to Eve right now? I don't think we have the energy. I think it takes... Should I try? I should try. I should try. But before I try... I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I've been streaming for an hour and 48. I think I'm gonna leave it here. I'm glad we were able to launch a giant spaceship, but I've got to make some food, and I am starting to get tired. So it's been a good stream. We achieved what we set out to achieve. Now we have 14,790 delta V, 98.79 tons of hydrogen, and we have the ability to dock with this thing. So that being said, we have, this could be a space station for Kerbin, and I could launch another hydrogen powered spaceship, dock with this one, and then oh, it's rolling a bit. Let's, yeah, it kind of gets into that yeah, but this isn't doing a good job of it because it's stupid. All right. We could dock with this thing and refuel or add fuel. There's a lot we can do with this in orbit. 98.79 tons of hydrogen in low Earth orbit is, getting this here took a lot of energy. So we could piggyback off this quite easily. But yeah, save. I'm leaving it here. I'll be on either tomorrow or yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. So GG.